This week, the Metropolitan Police in London were videotaped removing posters with pictures of hostages taken by Hamas. The posters were being removed from Cullimore Chemist in Edgware. The chemist's CEO, Hassan Khan, recently retweeted posts branding Israel and the IDF, quote, filthy animals, and encouraging Iran and Hezbollah to attack Israel. This naturally caused some properly earned angst. After all, the removal of such posters has become the domain of anti-Semites across the world. So what was the police's excuse for removing the posters? They explained, quote, both people who reported the posters to us were concerned that would escalate an already tense situation. Officers went to the shop and, acting in good faith, they removed the posters in an effort to prevent any such escalation. We do not wish to limit the rights of anyone to protest or to raise awareness of the plight of those kidnapped and the terrible impact on their families, but we do have a responsibility to take reasonable steps to stop issues escalating and to avoid any further increase in community tension. Stop the escalation, prevent the community tension. That's the important thing. Well, yesterday, the Metropolitan Police reportedly arrested a man for posting a video criticizing people for putting up Palestinian flags around his neighborhood. Here is the video.
And this is the kind of that's going on. Yeah. So there's a look at this. Yeah, you see it? And then over here at this one.
The Palestinian flags just on flagpoles all around his neighborhood.
Yeah. And then we come along to this pole here, and they've done the same crap here as well. Look at this. Look. See this? This is what we're dealing with. This is no on and ending up in this one here. You see that? Yeah.
Literally every flagpole, Palestinian flag.
Well. This is what we're dealing with. And these here on the shop. Look at this shop. This lot on the shop. Ghana restaurant. Yeah. Look at this.
Okay, so this guy was then arrested. Here was the video of his arrest.
The bill conditions impose that you do not attend any events involved with Palestine, okay? The reasons why we did this is on the 17th of the 10th of 2023 on Bethel Green Road at 10:04. You were witnesses saying, obviously, people, why are they over here, etc., we let them into our country, etc.
So, big deal.
Yeah, okay.
So, big deal.
Nigel Farage's on the television.
Saying it. Take him. Disgusting. You're disgusting. Absolute. I'm a stage 4 cancer patient and I need to here. Make a scene. His shoes is making a scene. You're arresting him because he said something in the street about Hamas, a terrorist organisation.
You haven't been round the block. Okay, John, you don't know what you're talking about.
John, have a custody.
Did you hear that?
What?
All those Palestinian flags in Bethnal Green Road. And it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Why didn't you take them down? Why didn't you take them down?
John,
They arrested him for saying, why are these people in our country? Meaning people who are posting Palestinian flags in the middle of giant rallies for Hamas. Now, the police did not remove the Palestinian flags, for the sake of community tension. In the current moment, those flags are clearly meant to support Hamas. After all, there were no rallies with Palestinian flags prior to October 7th happening in Great Britain. If there were a true separation in cause between the so-called pro-Palestinian protesters we see on the streets and the pro-Hamas protesters, one might imagine that pro-Palestinian protesters would call for Hamas's ouster and surrender so as to make way for a peace process. Not one moment of that has materialized. None at all. Zero zip zilch. But the British police didn't touch the flags in the name of relieving community tension or anything. Instead, they arrested the man who wondered why Britain would import the kinds of people who would post Palestinian flags on street poles while Hamas is holding human babies hostage. Remember, the tensions must be reduced. Pure Talk recently announced they would alleviate $10 million in veteran debt by Veterans Day. Thanks to your support last week, they are 74% of the way to that goal with 2 weeks to go. Think about this. The U.S. military is made up of 100% volunteers. These are men and women who willingly sacrifice everything they have for this country. When they're done serving, they return home to a tight job market and outrageous living expenses. That's why I'm so happy a private company like Pure Talk has jumped in to help. When you switch to Pure Talk's lightning fast 5G network, they'll donate a portion of every new order to this noble cause. You can make a real difference just by choosing superior cell phone service. Pure Talk's plans start at just $20 a month, offering unlimited talk, text, more data, and a mobile hotspot. Just go to puretalk.com/Shapiro. Make that switch today. Let's help ease the burden on the men and women who have given so much for us. Visit puretalk.com/Shapiro. Switch to Pure Talk today. It's the right move. It's the American way. Visit puretalk.com/Shapiro today. Again, that's puretalk.com/Shapiro today. Go check them out right now. The October 15th tax deadline has just passed. I know many of you might be dreading the stress of filing your taxes. Filing your taxes can be long, excruciating, but if you fail to file, you'll start to pile penalties on your tax debt. That's why you need to check out Tax Network USA. The team over at Tax Network USA has a track record of success. They've reduced tax debts for numerous clients, totaling over $1 billion. Whether you're looking at a $10,000 or a $1 million tax debt, they can help you with a settlement. It doesn't matter if you haven't filed in a year, 5 years, even a whole decade. Tax Network USA is equipped to secure the best settlement for you. Their expert attorneys and tax professionals can help resolve all tax cases, no matter how they started. Don't let tax debt control your life any longer. I know it's been hanging over your head. Help get rid of it today. Take the first step toward resolving your tax issues by visiting taxnetworkusa.com/Shapiro. That's taxnetworkusa.com/Shapiro. Today, again, taxnetworkusa.com/Shapiro. There are two ways to reduce tension in a community. The first is to cave to those who are the most radical and the most dangerous, in this case, the Hamas supporters. Criminalize anyone who would ask just why a community in the West should be expected to contain people who support Hamas. Take them to jail for asking that question on tape. And the second way to lower community tensions is to recognize that those very people who defend Hamas are a danger to your community. That the problem isn't community quiescence, but the constituency of the community itself. That there cannot be community with people who root for Hamas. This should be obvious, but it isn't. It isn't because the West simply refuses to look reality in the face. Better to arrest people who speak that reality than to look reality in the face. Because reality is ugly, and reality is unpleasant, and reality might require you to recognize that the importation of millions of people who hate the West was an awful, terrible idea, and that means should be taken to reverse that process. And so instead, a way has to be found to pretend away the threat. Blame it on Israel. Jabber about the two-state solution. Talk about Islamophobia. Whatever you do, do not look the realities of multiculturalism's dramatic failure directly in the face. Don't do it. This, of course, plays directly into the hands of Hamas. They now understand that they can say and do literally anything, and that much of the West will cover for them in order to maintain the fiction that multiculturalism works. They don't even bother to hide the ball. They know that you are stupid and or weak. They'll say it directly out to your face. They understand that you will just pretend they didn't say it. That you will pretend to misunderstand them. That you will, in fact, grant credibility to people who cheer for them in the streets. Here is Hamas official Ghazi Hamad speaking just 1 week ago on Lebanese TV, calling for attacks on Jewish civilians until Israel is extirpated. He says, we'll repeat October 7th over and over and over. He says Israel is a country that has no place on our land. We must remove that country because it constitutes a security, military, and political catastrophe to the Arab and Islamic nation and must be finished. We are not ashamed to say this with full force. We must teach Israel a lesson, and we will do this again and again. The Al-Aqsa flood is just the first time. There will be a second, a third, a fourth, because we have the determination, the resolve, the capabilities to fight. Will we have to pay a price? Yes, and we are ready to pay it. We are called the nation of martyrs, and we are proud to sacrifice martyrs. We did not want to harm civilians. That's a lie, obviously. But there were complications on the ground. And there was a party in the area with civilian population. There's a large area across 40 kilometers. The occupation must come to an end. Occupation where? In the Gaza Strip? No, I'm talking about all the Palestinian lands. Does that mean the annihilation of Israel? Yes, of course. The existence of Israel is illogical. The existence of Israel is what causes all that pain, blood, and tears. It is Israel, not us. We are the victims of the occupation, period. They murder 1,400 Jews. They burn babies in ovens. And then they tell you that they want to do it again and again and again. Operation Al-Aqsa Flood is the name of what they did. That is literally the name of what they did. And they're saying they want to do it over and over and over again. And by the way, there are polls showing that there is wide and broad support for this in Muslim countries across the world. Pretending that you can import a bunch of people who agree with Hamas and this is not somehow going to have some impact on your community is simply insane. It's totally crazy. In every available way, it's totally nuts. So, for example, there's a recent poll showing 1 in 3 in Lebanon currently favor war with Israel. The poll found broad support for Hamas terror organization, the Hamas terror operation called Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. Of the 400 individuals polled in Lebanon, 80% supported what Hamas did. 80% in Lebanon. 80%. And by the way, if you look in other countries, very similar numbers. The group wishing to condemn Israel is comprised of 97% of Shiite respondents, 84% of Sunni respondents, 55% of Christian Lebanese respondents, and 75% of Druze respondents. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, Me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.